Just in time for the Legends edition, coming to you live from Broadcasting House, Nairobi. I'm Edmund Mudibo. Top in this bulletin. Raiders drive away 30 goats in the Kir village of Samburu County, despite a curfew and ongoing security operations in the region.
Any police commander who will supervise eviction and demolition without authority of the respective county security and intelligence committee, you'll be on your own.
You will be responsible. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua warns police against forceful evictions of citizens. And in sports, Kenya reclaims the World Athletics cross-country title after bagging a total of 10 medals in Bathurst, Australia. We're glad you made the choice to join us this evening. Our sign language interpreter is Lucy Maura. A section of leaders has challenged the decision by the Law Society of Kenya, that is LSK, that is seeking for the regularization of the Kenya Defence Forces deployment in the North Rift. The leaders have said that the president is within the law in deployment as the prevailing situation was an emergency. They've accused the LSK of applying the constitution selectively. And despite a curfew and security operations in the disturbed and dangerous counties, raiders this morning attacked the Kir village in Samburu and took off with 30 goats.
At Kinyach area in Baringo North, a somber mood has engulfed the area as Tony Barkuto, a victim of banditry, is laid to rest. Barkuto met his death 2 weeks ago. A section of leaders are in attendance, including cooperatives and SMEs Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui. The leaders supporting the move by President William Ruto to deploy the military to complement other security personnel in the region.
Haina haja tukue wanajeshi ambao wanalinda DRC na wanalinda Somalia na watu hapa Kenya wanakufa.
The president has been very patient. Ametoa ombi kwa wale wakora kwa muda mrefu kwamba musimame mambo haya. Walinyamaza? Walisikia?
The leaders accused the Law Society of Kenya of applying the law selectively following its opposition to the current deployment plan.
Section 241B inasema kwa muda wakati kuna emergency, the president can deploy the military, the defense forces, to cooperate with any other security agency to protect its people in case of emergency. We are in such emergency.
Every Kenyan is entitled to protection from the government. And I want to ask my colleagues, I'm a member of LSK, a senior member. Why do you want to apply the constitution selectively?
The Law Society of Kenya has written to the Attorney General requesting that the Kenya Defence Forces deployed to the North Rift Valley be regularized by obtaining National Assembly approval. Even as the disarmament exercise continues, a family at the Kir village in Samburu was attacked and 30 goats stolen. The attack coming at a time when a curfew is in force in the area.
Ilikuwa saa 5 ya usiku. Niliamka nimesikia sauti ya watu wakifunja hapo kwa boma yangu. Sasa wakati nilishomoka kwa kitanda, wakanisuia kwa mlango. Ndio sasa watoto wakaanza kulia usitoke nje kwa sababu utapigwa risasi.
Siku tukaamka saa 10. Tulikuta sasa sisi hatuna chochote, mbuzi yote imeenda. Sasa sisi hatuna kitu na tuko na watoto wa shule.
Operation iko na mbuzi inaenda. Hata saa hii mchana saa 6 kama saa hii ng'ombe yao iko hapa tu nyuma yetu na wako na silaha. Sisi wa Samburu hatuna chochote.
Si basi serikali iweze kutuokolea watu au kuokolea mali. Maana watu 24 kwa mwezi mmoja, mwezi 3 sasa watu 24 wamekufa katika location hii.
Meanwhile, Officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations examined the chopper belonging to Pokot South Member of Parliament David Kosing at Wilson Airport.
The DCI officers were able to look at the chopper. They took photographs, they took whatever details they were to take, and then they said they're going to compile their own report on that.
Kosing was on Friday grilled over allegations of aiding banditry activities. It is alleged that his chopper was used to ferry firearms to bandits, allegations he has since refuted. Nancy Okware, Legends Edition.
President William Ruto says time has come for Africa to establish and maintain strong public health institutions. Ruto was speaking in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, said during the inaugural ministerial forum by the Africa Centers for Disease Control, said the continent should also enhance its capacity to manufacture its own vaccines and stop relying on imports.
President William Ruto has called for increased domestic investment in health and robust resource mobilization for the African continent to optimally address the disease factor. Ruto, who spoke during the inaugural ministerial forum by Africa Center for Disease Control, argued that the African continent must invest in public health workforce and support institutions with skilled professionals to address future health threats and disease outbreaks.
It is even more essential to achieve health security in the face of emerging and re-emerging health threats such as COVID-19, Ebola, among others. To this end, the new public health order focuses on prevention and preparedness as key pillars in health service delivery.
We have great lessons from our response to the various public health threats like Ebola and the recent COVID-19 pandemic. We know that Africa's health challenges have become increasingly complex and require multi-sectoral approach for effective response.
The head of state lauded the appeal by the African Union Commission to governments, multilateral organizations and the private sector to support full implementation of Africa's public health order.
I further challenge ministers of health to be more innovative and more involved in the governance of Africa's CDC and its activities to make it the organization of choice to go to during disease outbreak and health emergencies.
At the same time, Ruto called for ample funding of development interests in Africa to tame the cycle of inequality. For Legends Edition, I'm Gladys Mungai.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has warned that stern action will be taken against police and other national government officers who will participate in the eviction of people before extensive consultations with other stakeholders. Speaking in Nakuru County, the DP said police and other government officials have a responsibility of protecting life and livelihoods of the people.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was in Kiriko, Nakuru County, where he visited and distributed food and non-food items to 105 families who were forcefully evicted last week. The Deputy President taking the opportunity to reprimand the police for overseeing the evictions, saying it was done in total disregard for human values.
Na tumehuzunika sana ya kwamba hawa polisi, na tuliwaambia hawa kazi yao ni kulinda mali na maisha ya raia, sio kusimamia uharibiaji ya mali.
He added that the government will not shy away from taking action against local administrators and police officers who do not follow the law.
Any police commander who will supervise eviction and demolition without authority of the respective county security and intelligence committee, you will be on your own.
DP Gachagua claimed police officers used national resources to facilitate the demolition of homes in Kiriko. Gachagua, however, protested against the demolitions, claiming police should have consulted other agencies.
This government, led by William Ruto, is a people's government, and it cares and it is sensitive to the issues concerning the common man. na hakuna unaweza kuja hapa ile uharibifu nimeona hapa, utoe watoto na wamama na ujui wataenda wapi.
The ownership tussle over the about 1,096 acres of land has pitted the residents against the private developers who are claiming joint ownership.
Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition has maintained that the public consultative forums it is currently conducting across the country are peaceful and should not be mistaken for any form of demonstration. The coalition, however, says it will soon escalate the forums in its bid to push the government to act on the rising cost of living. As Wycliffe Okech reports from Kisumu County, the coalition's luminaries maintained that the process of reconstituting the electoral body IEBC must adhere to the law.
On a Saturday, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition leader Raila Odinga led the coalition's luminaries in a consultative meeting in the lakeside county of Kisumu, the first in the region after last year's general elections. It is here that the Azimio leadership reiterated the intention of the meetings it has been conducting across the country.
Maombi yangu kwenu, tusikubali kamwe kama wa Kenya maovu iendelee kutawala Kenya. Tuseme enough is enough.
We will fully support and participate in all attempts to make the government listen, make the government care, and ensure a better standard of living for all Kenyans.
Mikutano yetu ni amani. All the people barazas we've had have been peaceful. Prophets of doom. Wacha kusema eti Raila anataka kuleta fujo Kenya.
The leaders challenged the government to devise policies based on the needs of the electorate, even as they registered the opposition to the proposed privatization of select state corporations.
Na bado wako na mipango ya kuuza mali ya serikali, mali ya wananchi, parastatos. Na wanataka kuondoa idhini ya bunge kukagua ni nini inauzwa na ni bei gani. Hiyo ni unyakuzi.
The process of reconstituting the electoral body IEBC also taking center stage.
Having participated in the past struggles and that have defined our journey as a nation, we shall not let the gains be lost. Instead, we fully and willingly join the struggle to preserve our hard-won democracy, preserve our hard-won multi-party politics, and reject all ongoing attempts to make Kenya a single-party state.
Hatuwezi tena kuvumilia wizi wa kura Kenya. Kenya inaangaliwa na macho mengi duniani na bara la Afrika.
The leaders continued their onslaught on perceived rebels, threatening their ejection from the opposition coalition.
I am here to clean Baba's house. We need to have a clean house. Ndio tukitembea tunatembea pamoja.
Tukiwa na baba, lazima hii safari tumeanza ifike mwisho. Na ile tunaenda kukoboa ni mambo ya jaa.
Odinga and the Azimio team has maintained that the coalition's push for a better Kenya in terms of the living standard and electoral democracy is unstoppable, and that the coalition will pursue every strategy to keep the government in check. Reporting for the Legends edition from Kisumu County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Completion of the Thwake multipurpose dam at the border of Makueni and Kitui counties may suffer fresh delays due to theft and vandalism of vital equipment. Gatundu OCPD Martin Kangala said theft of equipment and components that belong to the Thwake Dam project may freeze progress of the project at 70%.
According to the Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation, treatment works, dam filling, mobilizing 37 billion shillings for construction works, settling the project-affected persons, legal issues and other construction challenges slowed down works in the multipurpose dam project. However, new issues have since arose, threatening progress of works that was set to be complete under Phase 1 by June 2024.
Kwa tukipokea ripoti ya wizi wa vyuma, mafuta na mabati kutoka project ya Thwake Dam kutoka kwa wananchi.
Authorities say arrests have been made, with the case now in court. According to a police report on the matter, the repossessed construction materials were worth an estimated 500,000 shillings, with the police calling for more vigilance from residents.
Kuna mabati ya wizi imeonekana kwa duka fulani mahali inaitwa Mavindini. Kama polisi tulitoka tukaenda tukathibitisha kwamba kulikuwa na mabati, na tulipouliza mwenye hiyo mabati athibitishe ya kwamba mabati ni yake, hangeweza kuthibitisha. Watu wa Thwake, mwanzo ningependa kuwashukuru watu wa Mavindini na Kativi. Ningependa kuwashukuru kwa habari ambayo walipeana kwa polisi ambayo ilituwezesha kwenda kunasa hizo vyuma na mabati.
His words were echoed by Makueni Governor Mutola Kilonzo Jr., saying that his county will work with security agencies to ensure vandals are brought to book.
Walikuwa wametoa fujo kwa jana kwamba kuna watu usiku kazi yao ilikuwa kusafirisha simiti na kusafirisha chuma na nini, those two items na mafuta ya diesel. Thwake ilikuwa biashara ya watu fulani na tunawajua. With the county policing authority, this will be a thing of the past.
Time now for our first break, but don't go too far because there's plenty more on the other side.
Enjoy a selection of the best. Regina Ray and Tim Gazi.
Bado hujamwambia unamlike. Umerealize jamwachilia mkono kutoka nikuje hapa.
Love blossoms in Mexico with the Trier sisters in Las Bandidas.
I beg you, please don't go.
I want you to be the happiest man in the world with a woman who appreciates and respects you.
An array of music rave.
Make me lie when I don't want to.
Blues.
You are my everything.
Two local jams. And we sit to chat with the Diambo.
I can't even tell whether you're looking at me, seeing me, with the Louis Vuitton.
Classic comedy.
Makono too. Say that
again. Enjoy the Divas programming this February only on KBC Channel 1. Kenya's watching.
Maisha ni mafupi, hivyo si vyema kumaliza muda mwingi katika malumbano. Hesabu baraka zako, wathamini rafiki zako na tabasamu ili udumishe amani.
Kupata maisha, bonyeza *811 *816 hash. *811 *816 hash.
Jumapili hii kwenye runinga ya KBC, ungana naye Askofu Michael Wanderi wa kanisa la Christian Foundation Fellowship Kiambu kuanzia saa 1 hadi saa 2 asubuhi.
Ningetaka nikwambie, our Jehovah God, because the Bible says he is the same yesterday, today and forevermore. He is able to take you to a place of abundance. He is able to take you to Rehoboth in the name of Jesus Christ.
Kipindi ni neno la neema, ukiletewa naye Askofu Michael Wanderi wa kanisa la Christian Foundation Fellowship Kiambu. Usikose.
The time has come to write a new story of Kenya's historic progress on the tracks of railway connectivity.
The first phase of this project will create 5,000 jobs for our young people.
Why should investors come and invest in this project? You'll never get such a prime property at the heart of the Nairobi city.
It will be a green development. It will regenerate central Nairobi and keep Kenya's climate ambitions on track.
Watch out and bottle!
That woman is sticking her nose where she shouldn't be sticking it in the first place.
Now, the only possibility that we have left and what we can do regarding this whole matter is confront the lawyer who wrote that contract.
He's the only individual that can clear up how the land was actually passed on to the hands of Olegario Montoya.
Miguel is now my boyfriend.
Once again. This isn't working, Corina. This isn't working.
Welcome back. Residents of Gatundu in Kiambu County will now have to brace for tougher times ahead as rivers, dams dry up following the persistent drought. This is after it emerged that a huge percentage of water reservoirs and dams in the area are on the verge of completely drying up owing to the impact of climate change.
Blamed for climate change, global warming, increased abstraction, and pollution of water sources, dozens of rivers considered as water towers are now drying up, a situation that has put Gatundu residents on edge. Tucked in the middle of the vast and high slopes of Kinare Forest is Thwake Dam, where dozens of rivers draw their water before flowing out in different directions.
We used to get 6,000 cubic meters a day. We are not even getting 500 cubic meters a day.
The water source is harshly fading away, pointing to a vague future of water supply to locals.
Currently, we are rationing this water because of the current drought. And we are asking our people to really bear with us because the water levels are that bad.
Poor or erratic rains in the region has turned the dam into the rocky facility with cracked floors that bear a sign of distinction.
This cycle is to proceed. If we are to have this for another maybe 5-10 years, then our rivers are going to dry up and dry up completely. And you know, this is how a whole race can be taken to extinction.
Stakeholders are blaming the drying up of the water resource to the destruction of Mother Nature.
We must start protecting our environment and thinking about it and making deliberate efforts to protect our environment and to conserve our environment.
Residents here have been urged to embrace alternative solutions such as water harvesting.
So we are telling our people to make sure that they invest the little they have in water tanks and to make sure that they embrace government solutions, especially county government solutions when it comes to communal water points.
Opicho Chemtai, Legend Edition.
Many have expressed shock at the prospect and possibility of a new ocean forming in Africa. According to Dr. Edmund of the Department of Geology in the Faculty of Science and Technology at the University of Nairobi, it is possible that indeed an ocean is forming along the eastern arm of the African Rift Valley. But he adds that this could be after millions of years. Judith Akoko reports on this possibility.
Geologists put Earth's formation at 4.5 billion years ago, followed by the formation of the continental crust 3.2 billion years ago, when the continental shelf formed from melting rocks beneath the Earth's surface, which pushed through the columns onto the surface, forming a supercontinent. Owing to the motion in which the tectonic plates shift against each other along the fault zones, falling beneath one another, crashing against one another, or tearing apart from each other at divergent plate boundaries, led to the formation of the various continents as we know them today: Africa, South America, North America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. According to Dr. Edwin Dindi of the Department of Geology in the Faculty of Science and Technology at the University of Nairobi, The continuous motion within the continental crust has seen the formation of the East African Rift Valley, which is active and continues to widen.
In the case of the Kenya Rift Valley, we know that magma was coming up as so doming upward, and as it comes upward, it forces the parts of this crust to split, the continent to split, so that one part is going the other one side and the other part is going the other side.
He says that this state of flux could see the formation of a new ocean in Africa, splitting the continent along the fault lines that form the eastern arm of the Rift Valley system.
This Rift Valley goes all the way to Afar Triangle, so water may come in from those areas. Initially, you will have just very, very shallow waters into these places, and as it opens up, maybe more water will. Then of course it will be open to the ocean.
However, he argues that this will not be immediate, since for the last 30 million years, the continental crust around the Rift Valley has only thinned by 5 kilometers of the 40 kilometers thickness.
If 40 million years ago it has only thinned by 5 kilometers, it's a very, very slow process.
Dr. Dindi says that not all rift valleys form, others fail.
This area around Wajir, there was an opening there which stopped. There's a rift valley which is already buried there, and it will not continue to completion. So you can also have openings starting, and then other things happen elsewhere, and they stop the whole process.
Going by this, it could take over 210 million years for the ocean to form. Judith Akolo, The Legends Edition.
Commissioner for Cooperatives David Obonyo has sent a stern warning to dubious SACCOs and auditors who cook figures and financial statement reports for cooperatives, saying that their days are numbered. The commissioner was speaking during the Hazina Sacco annual delegates meeting, said his office is collaborating with the Sacco Society's regulatory authority SASRA to streamline the sector.
As early as 7 a.m. at the Hazina Sacco place, over 315 delegates drawn from all over the country thronged the headquarters in Nairobi for their annual delegates meeting. Commissioner for Cooperatives David Obonyo, while addressing the delegates, said the Kenya Kwanza administration is keen on working with cooperatives to lift those at the bottom of the pyramid through the bottom-up economic model.
We want to use this Sacco movement in order to roll to deliver on our second product on the Hazina Fund that we are coming up with very soon on the micro business. And in that end, it means a number of a few selected SACCOs that are regulated by SASRA will be identified to deliver this product.
The commissioner also hinted that a cooperative bill enactment is underway, and once enacted by Parliament, it will ensure SACCOs work within proper legal framework.
We are amending our Cooperative Societies Act in order to tighten governance in cooperatives, and also we are working very closely now with the county governments, especially the directors and the CECs responsible for cooperatives, so that we have a seamless way of supervising.
The SACCO, which unveiled the strategic plan that will guide it for the next 5 years, say they are working to ensure members' expectations are met.
The first thing that comes to our mind is that our products must be cheap. Our service delivery must be smooth and very quickly. Even those who are struggling, small-scale business, SMEs, Hazina has come up with products that is going to fit into the government program so that we can leverage on the agenda of the government for us to help the citizens of this country.
As an organization, setting aside sufficient resources to help us undertake activities that should serve our members in the best shape, riding on the current technology.
SACCOs have also been urged to embrace technology in order to stay relevant in the emerging market trends. Ruth Wamboi for Legends Edition.
Nimesahau kucheza Loto Moto. Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Shinda milioni 2 kila siku kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number 757070. Account number andika neno Loto. Kisha weka star na nambari yako ya simu. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2000.
Aulali.
Lipa kisha subiri draw. Welala. Nitakutimizia ndoto zako. Milioni 2 usiamini. Ujumbe huu umeidhinishwa na BCLB.
Support 50 bob, 100 bob. Itasaidia pakubwa kupeleka mtu hosi.
Ngine hata akigonjeka. Hivyo amegonjeka. Na anaweza kosa hata kitu ya kuenda kumnunulia dawa. Na kula saa nyingine na njaa.
Ukiwa na 50, ukiwa na 100, Mungu atakubariki. Na hata huyu mwingine anaenda shule. Nimekosa pesa, hata nguo mimi sijamtafutia za shule juu ya hii shida ya mtoto.
Is so hot. We haven't seen rain for a long time. Mostly what I do is just drink lots of water.
Many Kenyans have been complaining about the current high temperatures in the country. Now the Kenya Meteorological Department has warned that the conditions may not change anytime soon.
So high temperatures has got a very, very dire consequences. And if it's not checked well, it can also be very, very fatal.
So, Dr. Chomo, definitely with the high breeding of mosquitoes means more malaria.
What will happen with global warming is we expect an expanded landscape. So expect to see malaria expanding to areas that used to be epidemic prone, that used to be only seasonal. So we'll see stabilization of malaria in cases like that.
Enjoy a selection of the best. Regina Ray and Team Gazi.
Bado hujamwambia unamlike. Umerealize jamwachilia mkono kutoka nikuje hapa.
Love blossoms in Mexico with the Trier sisters in Las Bandidas.
I beg you, please don't go.
We want you to be the happiest man in the world with a woman who appreciates and respects you.
An array of music rave.
Make me lie when I don't want to.
Blues.
You are my everything.
Two local jams. And we sit to chat with the Diambo.
You know, I can't even tell whether you're looking at me, seeing me. With the Louis Vuitton.
Classic comedy.
Makono too. Say that
again. Enjoy the Divas programming this February only on KBC Channel 1. Kenya's watching.
Kiswahili kitukuzwe.
Mwanzo wa kitu ndio mwisho wake, lakini sisi hatuna mwanzo, hatuna mwisho.
Alinishow nimpe chance ya kunimiss, kumbe alikuwa anataka ni go missing out of his life. Alinishow apendi ile na dress ati ni tight na crop, kumbe alikuwa amepata crush na tight na crop na alikuwa anataka kumuona daily me.
Dada zetu mwakosea kuzivaa hadharani. Ndizo hizo uchochea usherati mitaani. Mavazi rekebisheni, usherati umezidi.
Tunapoangalia kwa upande wa matumizi ya tarakilishi, wanafunzi wengi wameweza kutumia tarakilishi kuingia utandawazi, ambayo wanapata chanzo ya kutazama filamu ambayo hazifai.
Tunakataa kwa hizi injections zitadunga ndani kwa ujuzi tupate ugonjwa tumbo kufura for a period of season and no good reason. Mafisi wako kila side, hadi tumeshindwa kudecide wapi kwa kuhide. Kila mtu ni chui in heights za kondo. Tume hide in silence for long, but leo manzejo tunawa silence for good.
Nishia kuwa like Easter hivo, sio kupenda achana naye. Nekupenda penda na naye. Mambo
process ya nyumbani, emucheza ufurahi kama swangi limekole.
Kiswahili kitukuzwe.
Biggest odds in the world every day on selected matches. Make a decision. Mozart Bet.
Well, it's time for sports news, and coming up shortly with Topi Liambila. It has been a good day for Kenya in sports. Plenty of action, Topi.
You can say that again, Edmund, and I just wish that every Saturday would be like this. I mean, winning the Bathurst, Australia, in Arab Emirates, it's fantastic.
Well,
it's really good.
Take it away.
Well, I'm Topi Liambila, as Edmund rightly introduced me, and now this is the segment on sports this evening on the Legends Edition. Hope that you belt up, sit tight, have your drink and watch. It's going to be nice. Kenya has reclaimed the World Athletics cross-country title after bagging a total of 10 medals, 6 gold, 2 silver and 2 bronze medals at this year's edition held today in Bathurst, Australia. The 6 gold medals included 3 team and 3 individual titles. Let's have a look.
Few unsteady steps there at the start, but we are off and racing here for the mixed.
The national cross-country team today reclaimed their World Athletics cross-country title after putting up a sprinted fight at this year's event held in Bathurst, Australia. The Kenyan team opened their quest for medals at the global competition with a gold medal in the mixed relays after a team of Emmanuel Wanyonyi, Miriam Cherop, Kiumbe Munguti, Brenda Chebet clocked a time of 23 minutes and 14 seconds to win the race. Rivals and neighbours Ethiopia clocked 23 minutes and 21 seconds to finish second, ahead of host Australia, who finished third in 23 minutes and 26 seconds.
Takes home the first medal for the home nation.
In another race, Ismail Kipkirui clocked 24 minutes and 29 seconds to bag the men's under-20 title. Kipkurui's victory ended Kenyan's 12-year wait, leading compatriot Reynold Kipkorir to a 1-2 finish in men's under-20 8-kilometers race.
Kipkurui, he's going to hold on and take it. Kenya's going to go 1-2. Chariot takes second. Dariba, some great running to finish in third place. Dan Kabet.
In the senior women's race, former junior world cross-country junior champion Beatrice Chebet won gold medal in a time of 33 minutes and 48 seconds. Ethiopian Sigie Gebreselama finished second, ahead of Agnes Chebet, who settled for the third position.
Finishing straight. Gebreselama is going to cross the line.
In the women's under-20 race, Pamela Kosgei handed Kenya bronze as the country surrendered the women's under-20 race to Ethiopian Senayet Getachew. Medina Asa came in second to bag silver.
World title. Asa, 20 metres left to go. She'll take the silver medal. And then Pamela Kosgei will take out the bronze.
In the senior men's race, Kenya's Geoffrey Kamurol failed to make the podium cut after he finished fourth behind Uganda's Jacob Kiplimo, Beriu Aregawi of Ethiopia, who took the first 3 places respectively.
That was not enough. Kenya's Bernard Koech and former world cross-country champion Helen Obiri were crowned champions of the 2023 edition of the Ras Al Khaimah half marathon in the United Arab Emirates. Koech set an impressive new personal best time of 58 minutes 45 seconds to win the men's title. He was followed closely by fellow compatriots Daniel Mateiko in the second spot with a time of 58 minutes 49 seconds, and Richard Kimunyan, who clocked 59 minutes 37 seconds to finish third. Similarly, the women's race saw intense competition from start to finish, with Kenya's Helen Obiri being crowned the winner for this year's event with an exceptional time of 1 hour 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Gotitom Gebreselassie from Ethiopia took the second position. crossing the line with a time of 1 hour, 5 minutes and 51 seconds, while Ethiopia's Futo Zerai finished in 3rd position. Butali Warriors moved closer to winning this year's Mozart Bet Africa Cup of Club Champion after beating Zamalek of Egypt 2-1 in a penultimate stage match of the continental event at the Sikh Union grounds here in Nairobi. The team currently lies second in Group A behind Ghana Exchequers.
Kenya Men's Premier League champions Butali Warriors set the bar high today after beating Egypt's Zamalek 2-0. A field goal from Moses Ademba and a successful short corner conversion from Rana Suhail gave Butali a second position in the standings in Group A. Western Jaguars lost 3-2 to Ghana's Exchequers, while Kenya Police was humbled 3-0 by Ghana Revenue Authority. At the City Park Hockey Stadium, Kenyan Women's Premier League champions Strathmore University Scorpions were beaten 1-0 by Kisumu Lakers thanks to Pauline Atieno's field goal in the 37th minute. Lakers are currently second in the standings. Blazers women narrowly lost to Nigeria Delta Queens 1-0 despite being awarded several short corners with no successful conversions.
We are still going for a win. That is always our goal. So we are still here. We'll just go regroup, debrief, back to the field, to the pitch, and best foot forward.
Our second match we lost, but we pray to go. We give God all the glory for giving us the strength to bounce back.
The Mozart Bet Africa Cup for Club Championship, which started on Monday, will end tomorrow with winners being awarded trophies. Nora Mwangi for Legends Edition.
On the soccer scene, Gor Mahia have remained 2 points above Nzoia Sugar at the top of the Kenya Premiership League table after both teams played to 1-1 draws in their respective matches today. Gor Mahia were held to a 1-0 draw by Ulinzi Stars, while Nzoia played to the same scoreline against Posta Rangers. Having gone at the top of the table after their midweek win, Gor Mahia were looking to stretch that gap to 5 points but were unable to beat Ulinzi despite leading 1-0 at the half-time. Nzoia, who still have a game in hand, also scored fast before being held to a draw by Posta, who leveled just before the break. In other Premier League matches played today, Homeboys drew 0-0 with City Stars, Police drew 1-1 with Talanta, Wazito drew 2-2 with Bandari, while Tusker collected 3 points against Mathare United, winning 2-1. The National Rugby Sevens team, which is preparing to take part in the 6th and 7th legs of the HSBC Sevens World Series in Los Angeles and Vancouver, were treated to a farewell dinner last night by the Ministry of Sports. The team is in Pool C at the Los Angeles Sevens and will open their campaign against Fiji on the 26th of this month.
The National Rugby 7 team is optimistic they will perform well in the next 2 legs of the HSBC World Rugby Series in Los Angeles and Vancouver, set to be held end of this month and early next month. The team, coached by Damian Grant, was hosted to a send-off dinner last night by the Ministry of Sports. Principal Secretary for Sports Jonathan Mweke reassured the team that the government will fulfill its obligations in terms of players' welfare to boost the morale of the team.
So we just wanted to motivate the boys. You know, they carry our flag. They are one of the favorites in the world for rugby, for their 7th prowess. And as a ministry, we thought that we would just motivate them.
Head coach Damian Grant said they are well prepared and confident that his charges will post good results in the 2 legs in the USA and Canada.
promise Kenyans is that this team is going to go out and show everybody just what they can do, and I hope that's enough to bring home the points that help us stay on the series.
And, for the boys, they are all well prepared, and they are really going there to put their best foot forward, and we are not going to let you down.
The team sits in the second position in the series standings with 21 points. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Sports has embarked on training soccer and volleyball referee at the grassroots. The ministry has so far trained referees in 3 counties, with Busia being the 4th, in an effort to ensure the referees from the grassroots can meet the international standards required.
Up to the very top level of the training ladder. We are going to do that in football, we are doing that in volleyball, and we'll extend it to other sports. So it is a very serious program that is part of an international network of building capacity at the grassroots level.
For Legends Edition, I'm Sela Onyango.
Still on rugby, the first edition of the Benjamin Ayimba Legacy Annual Tournament will take place at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos from 7th to the 9th of April this year to remember and honor the late Benjamin Ayimba. The tournament will have 3 categories, which include the men, women, and developmental sides. Former Sevens coach Ayimba had been in and out of hospital since 2020 and passed away on the 22nd of May 2021 after battling with the cerebral malaria. He was the first Kenyan and African coach outside of South Africa to win a World Rugby 7 Series Cup title in 2016 at the Singapore Sevens. Kenya Weekend Meet, which will be held at the Nyayo National Stadium on the 24th and 25th of this month, will be used to select a Kenyan team for the East Africa Youth Championships later this year. The event is open to all athletes and is approved by the World Athletics as a ranking event with posted times recognized.
The second Athletics Kenya Weekend Meet will bring together sprint and middle distance athletes from across the country, with all athletes who don't participate in international events urged to take advantage of the meet.
We make this event really big, not just a normal standard event that we just come and run and go. Now we want to see that athletes also come, compete, and qualify for the events that will be staged in the future, because this is the opportunity, especially those who might not get a chance to go and run in Europe.
Athletes will also be subjected to doping tests, which will be conducted by the Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya.
At least Kenya, ADAC and AIU to work very closely together to ensure that we try to push for a common goal. That means ensuring that Kenya, within the next 5 years, is completely, not really completely, but the reduction of those who doped is minimized completely.
Athletics Kenya will use the 2-day championship to select a team of 31 athletes who will represent the country in this year's East Africa Under-18 and Under-20 Youth and Junior Championships to be held in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania between the 10th and 11th of March. In an effort to nurture more sprinters, AK will select more sprinters than the track and field participants for the Under-18 and Under-20 Championships.
In boxing, hit squad assistant coach Dave Munuhe says the national women's boxing team has settled well in training as they prepare for the World Championships, slated for the 14th to the 24th March in New Delhi, India. A team of 13 female pugilists is currently in non-residential training camp at the Mathare Police Depot.
The squad of 13 female pugilists is currently camping at Mathare Police Depot ahead of the global assignment. Head squad assistant coach Dave Munuhe is optimistic the Kenyan charges are up to the task after a mixed performance last year.
Matayarisho yako vizuri, tunaongoja mwezi ujao tuone kwamba tutaweza kuwakilisha nchi yetu ya Kenya kule kwa haya mashindano, ili hawa wasichana wetu walete medali ambazo tumekuwa tukiwania kwa muda mrefu.
The squad will be led by Christine Ongare in minimum weight, Lensa Akinyi and Ann Wanjiro in light fly, Veronica Mbide and Emily Juma in flyweight, Amina Matha and Alice Wayego bantam, and Pauline Shege in featherweight. Others in the squad include Elizabeth Akinyi, Lona Kusa, Elizabeth Ndiego and Teresia Wanjiro.
So far naweza sema zaidi inaendelea poa. Kila mtu anajikaza weaknesses zenye ako nazo. So tunawakia tu sharpness na reflex ya game situation. So now toward the end of the tournament tutakuwa tuko ready kabisa.
The Kenyan squad is also expected to take part in the Golden Bell Series in July in Slovenia before the 13th edition of All Africa Games Come Olympic qualifiers in Accra, Ghana in August.
Rangers defeated Amazon 37-28 in the Women's Handball Premier League match played at the Nyayo National Stadium. Rangers dominated the match, taking a 2018 lead in the first half. In other matches, National Cereals and Produce Board were awarded a walkover after Rising Stars failed to turn for the game. New Hope lost 51-7 to Nairobi Water. Rangers, who lie fourth with 23 points as standings behind Nairobi Water and National Cereals and Produce Board, respectively, while Amazon are eighth with 10 points. The league continues tomorrow at the Nyayo National Stadium with several matches on the card. Rangers will play Ulinzi Sharks and later play JKUAT, while GSU will play Nairobi City Council. Natasha Michuki and Lydia Mandago emerged victorious on the first day of the PIPSA Invitational Swimming Championships held at the Moi Educational Center in Nairobi. The event, which has attracted 22 swimming teams from various regions in Nairobi County, will end tomorrow, Sunday.
Coach Ben from Lukenya and Coach Albert from
Lukenya Dolphin swimmer Natasha Mandago emerged the winner in the 100 meters 12 to 13 years girls breaststroke category after clocking a time of 2 minutes and 20 seconds. She finished ahead of Cyrilla Odanyiro and Michelle Chebet, who clocked 2 minutes and 25 seconds and 2 minutes and 27 seconds respectively. Lydia Mandago of Moi Educational Center emerged victorious in the 10-year-old girls breaststroke category after clocking a time of 2 hours and 13 seconds.
I'd feel very joyous because I'll be going to Kampala to qualify, because that has always been my strive for swimming, going national, performing nationwide, and yeah, it will be nice.
It was a very outstanding chance and a very good opportunity for me to participate in this gala. I feel very good because I learned from my mistakes. About most of my strokes were not doing well, so I learned from other schools and other swimmers.
So far I've participated in medley relay and 25 meters breaststroke.
Speaking during the event, swimming coach Francis Mwangi said that the event will be used to select a team that will represent Kenya in the Invitational Swimming Championships set to be held in Kampala and Dubai in April and June respectively.
Basically what we do here, the swimmers will qualify depending on their time. We have the qualifying times and each swimmer records their time. We have a cut line or the guideline time that is used to qualify a swimmer.
The event, which has attracted 22 swimming teams from various regions in Nairobi County, will end tomorrow.
And that's all we had for you from the KBC Channel 1 Sports Desk with a very able team that has given us all those rousing results. Hope that you'll be with us again next weekend for another edition of The Legends and, of course, the Bamba Harvest on the sporting scene. From its Topi Liambila saying goodbye. But remember, KBC is your true sports partner. Stay with us. Don't go away.
Biggest odds in the world every day on selected matches. Make a decision. Mozart Bet.
For today, we thank you for the privilege of your company. And coming up shortly is the Living Legends interview. I'm Edmund Mudibo.
I'm Edmund Mudibo. In this edition of The Living Legends, we speak to a couple who defined Kenya's gospel music scene. They did so as performing and recording artists, and later in production and distribution of music. You know them via their songs like Maisha ya Mwanadamu and being part of iconic programs on this channel, Joy Bringers and Sing and Shine. Our guests on The Living Legends are Japheth and Ann Kasanga. Karibuni sana.
Asante.
Wow. When I was told you are on set, memories came from days gone by. Allow me to just say, Karibuni sana once again. I mean, I can't believe it that we are sharing the same sets together, Japheth and Ann.
Yeah, we are happy and thank you for having us. We are happy to be here once more. Like we used to be here many years ago, and now we are back. We hope we still have our fans around waiting.
And indeed you are. And Mom, what about you?
Asante, nashukuru. Na ninapenda kushukuru Mungu kwa sababu ya neema yake ambayo imetosha katika maisha yetu. Ni muda mrefu, lakini tunashukuru Mungu kwa sababu ametuweka hai, tuko na afya, na tunasema asante kwa Mwenyezi Mungu.
Sasa tuanze hapo beleni, mwanzo. Wow, you've set the bar high. Umezungumza Kiswahili sanifu, sasa kama ingekuwa ni mtihani ningeanguka. But I'm sure Japheth here with such a wonderful tutor, I'm sure your Kiswahili is definitely better than mine.
Yangu ni nzuri kuliko yako. Ila yake ni nzuri zaidi, maana yeye amekulia sehemu za Kiswahili.
Asante.
So nilikuwa nikijifunza kutoka kwake.
Sasa hebu tuanze tuende hapo mwanzoni kabisa. Nyinyi wawili mlikutana aje? Your early life, because here you are and you're told the two will leave, depart and become one. I'm seeing the two of you, but you're one. But before you became one, you were two. Huyu dada ulimpataje? How was your early life?
Wow, mimi nilikuwa mwalimu wa kwaya. Na katika harakati zangu za kufunza kwaya hapa na pale, nilikuwa nikipata likizo yangu kutoka kazini na safiri Mombasa kufunza kwaya kule. Sasa katika kwaya moja inayoitwa AIC Thwake Dam Mombasa, hapo ndipo nilipata huyo dada. Nikawafunza akiimba, naangalia hiyo miaka ya 80s. So I was able to support her and we started talking.
Okay. How did he propose? Maybe aliimba ama alitunga nyimbo. Swept you off your feet.
Nafikiri hiyo swali anaweza kujibu. Vile ilianza na vile ni nini ilimfanya anione.
No.
Alafu a propose.
Wow.
Ndo kuanzia hapo sasa tunakuwa pamoja.
Because wacha nikueleze, nowadays sababu unakuta you know, kijana nakutana na dada kidogo haraka unastukia two wamekuwa one, wengine ni kama stay, wengine ni aje. So there are things we want to learn from you. Japheth.
Yeah, her elder brothers used to be musicians and guitar players like me. So I would visit them in their house every now and then. And she would be the one cooking for us. So tukicheza gita huko, alafu anakuja anaweka sauti yake kidogo, line ya kutufanya tuendelee. So I had a good chance of going to see her, but kumbe ninaenda kuona wale wanduku kwa kisingizio kwamba nataka nimuone. And that way I had time to talk to her, but I didn't talk to her because she was in Nairobi. She was in Mombasa, I was Nairobi. I chose to write her a letter, which took almost 1 year for her to say yes. It was in April, I remember April.
Yes.
But it took up to December, and I had to look for where she was so that I plead as we talk her for her to say yes.
Wow.
It was a lot of excitement for me that time. So it was hard. I would write a letter. It would take like a month before I get a response, and she would not say yes.
No.
Ninaomba, sijui ninaomba. Nashangaa hii maombi hii. Well, by end of the year, I got the yes I was looking for. Now she can tell us why she took me through that hardships of not getting the response.
Ulikuwa unampeleka sasa, ni kama unaona hajatosha, karibu atoshe. Mom, what about you? Your early life ilikuwaje?
Mimi nimelelewa kanisani. Babangu alikuwa mchungaji wa kanisa. Kwa hivyo alipo propose, mimi nilienda kuomba Mungu. Nikauliza Mungu, ni kweli ni huyu ama ni mwingine?
Naam.
Kwa hivyo alikuwa ananiharakisha sana. Lakini mimi nikamwambia wacha nichukue time yangu niendelee kuomba, nimuulize Mungu kama ndiye huyu. Ndo nisikimbie niwe nimepotea njia. Lakini Mungu alipo nipatia majibu ya kwamba ni yeye, akakuwa ni yeye basi. Na nikashukuru Mungu.
Wow. Sasa Japheth, hapo awali nilikuwa nikiangalia upande wa masomo.
Ndio.
You started education a little late. Ingawa hakuna haraka, lakini ama ulianza ile ilikuwa ya kupima, unaweka mkono. Sasa wengine wetu tulikuwa na vichwa kubwa, sasa unaambia wewe bado rudi mpaka mkono. So about your education, upande wa masomo tafadhali.
Yeah, it happened that my both parents passed on when I was a toddler of about 5 years. So being the last born in the family, and the sister who I followed had to get married at early age of about 12, so that she gets a way to survive. And me, I was left without a way to survive. There was nobody to take care of, and I would only depend on neighbors. Ninawachungia mbuzi zao or naenda kuwalimia so that I can get food. Now, in the course of that time, I developed interest in music. And I made my own guitar of goat pamoja na rubber stamp. Rubber band. Nikaitengeneza, nikaanza kucheza, nachezea watu. Kijana mdogo anacheza guitar, anaimba. But I developed, I transformed myself into another guitar made of a gallon with the wires. And then I became a village star that time, playing for people at night, and they would pay me. So that became my way of survival. And nobody would take me to school, until such a time when my local church bought a guitar, now a normal guitar. And in the village, it happened that it was only me who would play the guitar, and I was invited. So from there, I joined the church, and later I became saved. I came to know the Lord, and I became the choir master for myself at the university, studying, and later I became a music lecturer in the same university, and the life continued. So I became a music teacher for quite some time, until when I got married, and I thought there was another type of music, because I was saved, of ministering and preaching to people, and that's why I did a song for the university to release me called Niacheni Niende. Niacheni. Now they had to wonder, where does this Kasanga want to go? And the vice chancellor came to me and discussed it with me, and I told him, I feel I want to go. And that was the time the former producer of Joy Bringers and Sing and Shine, together with the late David Ndiwe, were looking for me. They would come from KBC to Daystar, where I was working, to poach me. And each time I'm out of job, I get a warning letter where you went out of job. And so I decided, I made my decision that I wanted to be a full-time music minister. Karancha Kimwere appointed me the master musician. Karancha Kimwere was the producer, the master musician of the program, the person taking charge of the other musicians. When they come, I'm the one, the instrumentalist, to arrange their music and play for them.
Okay. Sasa, yeye alikuwa anakuja kutembelea ndugu zako, wewe ulikuwa unapika. lakini baadaye tukaona pia nao umeingia kwa muziki. Ulijaje ama likuvuta ama ilikuwa unasema pom 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 yeye sasa yuko kwa gitaa?
Mimi nilianza nikiwa, kwa hivyo mimi nilianza tu kanisani. Sikuanza na mkebe kama yeye.
CBC, wewe ulianza kanisani?
Mimi nilianza kanisani, nashukuru Mungu.
Zetu zilikuwa saa usiku, nakumbuka. Sisi tulikuwa tunaenda usiku, sio usiku sio mchana. Hizo nyimbo hazingechezwa mchana, maneno yake nini, hata mngeshangaa tu kijana ana nini. Lakini Mungu alinishi.
Sasa at that time wakati hiyo enzi around that period if I recall, kulikuwa na wanamuziki wengine kama akina Mary Atieno Minde, akina Faustin Munishi. So what was the music scene like? Ukiweza kukumbuka tafadhali, nawe pia kwa upande wako, what was it like then?
Yani wakati huo muziki ilikuwa ni kazi, kama sisi tulikuwa ni kama pastors, watu wa kuhubiria watu waje kwa Yesu kupitia kwa muziki, sababu wengine hatujabarikiwa kuwa wa preachers. Kwa hivyo tulikuwa tunahubiria watu waje kwa Yesu, waache dhambi, waokoke kupitia njia ya muziki. Kwa hivyo sasa hivi sijui naweza kueleza namna gani, sababu hata wale wanaimba siku hizi labda wanasema sisi ni watu wa zamani, lakini hatuelewi ile maneno yao na ni nini inawafanya waimbe gospel music.
Naam.
Kwa upande wangu ilikuwa ngumu kiasi, kwa sababu Karanja Kimwere, huyo producer wetu wa KBC Joy Bringers Sing and Shine, alikuwa na a call, alikuwa na lengo la ku identify particular talents that are in choirs. That time we were choirs, hakukuwa na mtu anaimba peke yake. Hata tuliona Munishi alikuja hapa anaimba uninyime kidheli nini
uninyime ugali unia chie.
Tunashangaa huyu jamaa anaimba peke yake na sio choir. So he influenced us to want to sing on our own. So wakati tulianza kuimba sisi, kanisa wa kwaya wanasema hao watu wanatuletea kimbelembele hapa.
Uninyime githeri, uninyime mutura, unia chie Yesu. Alikuwa na accordion.
Akasema kumbe tulisikia Jim Reeves tu kutoka ngambo,
na kumbe tuko na wetu hapa.
Wanaweza kuimba. So that's how we were started. Myself I was started, and since we were singing duet,
ndio
tukasema wacha tujitoe, niache nini, tukatoka huko.
Tafadhali naomba mnaweza kutuimbia just one verse or so, maisha ya mwanadamu, ili wale ambao wanasikiza memory lane tuazu.
Shika key basi.
Haya, peana key.
Maisha ya mwanadamu nayoni kama maua, maisha ya mwanadamu nayoni kama maua, uchanua upendeza, mwisho wake unyauka. Maisha ya mwanadamu nayoni kama maua, utamkuta tajiri analala kwenye noti, nyumba yake ya dhahabu, utadhani ni mfalme, lakini wakati anakufa maisha yamekwisha. Maisha ya mwanadamu nayoni kama maua.
Maisha ya mwanadamu ni kama maua.
Yes.
Wow. Asante sana.
It was a song I composed having witnessed a man who had been hit by a lorry on his head at Westland as I was going to teach music, and you know, it was very scary. And I said, this man was just walking the other minute, and now I can only see the legs and the other part of the body. The head, there's nothing.
How was it like?
Kwa sababu wakati huo nilikuwa nimesoma muziki. Sasa kule university na najua kuandika. So nilikuwa na create tune na iandika. Nikiandika sasa nakuja namfundisha.
Sasa music production, distribution. Sababu hapo writing, tick. Production, distribution, and you had 5 years, if I recall, 1994, you moved into music production and distribution. And it's a time when you had studied about copyrights. So, as a producer, how has that journey been, Japheth? Even producing yourself, producing yourself as a duo or others. How has that journey been like?
It was hard at that time because in early 90s, that is when the cassette came up from the records za zamani.
Naam, real.
Hata tulikuwa inaitwaje? Hizo masahani ya zamani.
Masahani, santuri. Naam.
So tulianza wakati wa cassette.
Yes.
And that time was when now piracy developed. From Tanzania, from Dubai. So you do a cassette today, by next week it is here, looking better by color than even yours. And even the quality inside might sound better than yours. And it is spread all over. So I began well, but then we couldn't make any money because the pirates were more smarter than we were. But the only experience that I would say I got was, at Joy Bringers, every musician, and we recorded during the time I was here.
Yes.
We did our album. So musicians would come to us and ask, how can we record like you? So we got into business of sponsoring them to record their music. Now, once they recorded, they don't know how to sell. How do we market the music? And that's how we became producers of gospel music.
Just 3 things, for example, kama ningeuliza, that you'd suggest that people need to know about copyright kiufupi hivi. Just vitu vitatu hivi tuseme. Chunga hii, angalia hii, usikose hii, uteleze hapo.
Sponsored me to go and study music in South Africa. Mainly to study the South African industry, how they do their work and how they benefit from the creation of their music. So when I went there, I started something we call collective management organizations, CMOs, on how they function, on how the rights are demarcated. There's that right of author, composer, and publisher, which is now administered by a particular society. Like here in Kenya, it's MCSK. And then there's a right of producers, like myself that time.
Yes.
Producers of sound recording, which when I came here had begun a society called Kenya Association of Music Producers, CAMP. So here in Kenya, that one is being catered by CAMP. And then there's another right of performers. So that one is being taken care by, we call it PRISC, Rights Organization, Rights Society of Kenya. They're the ones taking charge of that right. And this right has to do with your music when it is being used by other people, not to sell your money to come.
Right.
And that is what I've been doing most times. I was chairman of CAMP, chairman of Music Copyright Society of Kenya. I'm now serving in MCSK as a director.
No wonder you're a living legend. Now, Anne,
yes.
Kama mzazi, talk to us about parenting today to ensure that parents and children have a long-lived friendship.
Hey, hiyo ni swali ngumu, lakini nitajibu tu kulingana na vile Mungu ataniongoza.
Naam.
Kwanza sisi Mungu alitubariki na watoto 4. Tuko na msichana na vijana 3. Na kulea vijana ni ngumu sana. Lakini ukiwa ndani ya Mungu, sababu unasoma Biblia, kuna kioo yenye inatufundisha jinsi ya kulea watoto. Lakini ile ninaweza kusema si kwa uwezo wa mzazi. Sana sana ni kuwezeshwa na Mungu na kuomba na kuwaelekeza tu, sababu Biblia inasema umlee mtoto kwa njia ya Mungu. Na hata akiwa mzee hataweza kusahau. Kwa hivyo unamlea tu kwa hiyo njia na unaambia Mungu, hiyo ingine wewe chukulia na uendelee. Lakini kuna wale wanaenda tu kombo, Mungu anawarudisha na wewe pia unawarudisha.
Kinapata negative press. So ujumbe gani unaweza kuwa nao kwa wale ambao wanahubiri wakitumia nyimbo?
Unajua Biblia inasema wacha magugu yamee pamoja na ngano. Mungu mwenyewe ndio huwa anakuja kuseparate.
Naam.
Na Biblia inasema hivyo. Kwa hivyo wale wanataka kutoa magugu, watoe pamoja na ngano. ile ninaweza kuwaambia ni waachie tu Mungu mwenyewe ndo atakuja kuchagua. Na tena Biblia inasema usihukumu usije ukahukumiwa. Kwa hivyo tunaachia tu hapo.
Mungu mbele, Mungu kwa kila jambo. Sasa as we come to close this interview, how I feel like we've just started another song. Wajua sasa mlipeana pale nikasema hamtaondoka hapa, lazima kuna nyingine. Kwanza hii verse, nitumie mimi chombo tafadhali, if as we wind up.
Nishike mkono, oh Baba yangu. Nishike mkono, oh Baba yangu. Nijaze na Roho Mtakatifu. Ukanitumie kwa kazi yako, maana mimi chombo chako. Ukanitumie kwa kazi yako, maana mimi chombo chako. Nitumie mimi chombo. Nitumie mimi chombo. Nitumie mimi chombo. Nitumie mimi chombo. Nitumie mimi chombo.
Ni chombo chako.
Nitumie mimi chombo.
Mimi chombo chako.
Nitumie mimi chombo.
Ni chombo chako.
Nitumie mimi chombo. Ukanitumie kwa kazi yako, maana mimi chombo chako. Ukanitumie kwa kazi yako, maana mimi chombo chako.
Shukran sana. Nitumie mimi chombo.
Amen.
Wow. Hiyo nami, hiyo ni maombi kwangu kwa niaba wote ambao wanatuona. So it has been a pleasure speaking to the Kasangas on Living Legends. They have made their name 30 years ago when ministering to us through the gospel. Songs that resonate with many people to date. We thank you. Asante sana.
Asante.
And you've shared right from within on matters intellectual property, on copyright, and what a person should do in the gospel industry to project through their music and actions. Thank you very much, Japheth.
Thank you too.
Asante sana, ma'am.
Nashukuru.
And we can only just say thank you for choosing to watch this edition of Living Legends. I'm Edmund Mudibo. Until next time, stay tuned.
Nimesahau kucheza Loto Moto. Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Shinda milioni 2 kila siku kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number 757070. Account number andika neno Loto. Kisha weka star na nambari yako ya simu. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2000.
Aulali.
Lipa kisha subiri draw. Welala. Nitakutimizia ndoto zako. Milioni 2 usiamini. Ujumbe huu umeidhinishwa na BCLB.
Enjoy a selection of the best. Regina Ray and Tingazi.
Bado hujamwambia unamlike. Umerealize jambo chini ya mkono kutoka nikuje hapa.
Love blossoms in Mexico with the Trier sisters in Las Bandidas.
I beg you, please don't go.
I want you to be the happiest man in the world with a woman who appreciates and respects you.
An array of music rave.
Make me lie when I don't want to.
Blues.
You are my everything.
Two local jams. And we sit to chat with the Diambo.
I can't even tell whether you're looking at me, seeing me, or Louis Vuitton.
Classic comedy.
Makono too. Say that again.
Enjoy the Divas programming this February only on KBC Channel 1. Kenya's watching.
Jumapili hii kwenye runinga ya KBC, ungana naye Askofu Michael Wanderi wa kanisa la Christian Foundation Fellowship Kiambu kuanzia saa 1 hadi saa 2 asubuhi.
Ningetaka nikwambie, our Jehovah God, because the Bible says he is the same yesterday, today and forevermore. He is able to take you to a place of abundance. He is able to take you to Rehoboth in the name of Jesus Christ.
Kipindi ni neno la neema, ukiletewa naye Askofu Michael Wanderi wa kanisa la Christian Foundation Fellowship Kiambu. Usikose.